Let me teach you. They laughed at the quiet sniper until the SEALs found out her code name. The training yard was filled with noise, laughter, chatter, and the sound of boots striking the hard ground. Recruits moved through drills, shouting, sweating, and competing for attention. But in a quiet corner, one figure barely drew notice. She was small, unassuming, almost invisible compared to the towering men and loud personalities around her. Her rifle was meticulously cleaned, her stance calm and precise, but most ignored her. Some even snickered as she quietly adjusted her gear, whispering under her breath, "Let me teach you." A group of new recruits snorted. "Teach us? What can she teach us?" one muttered, nudging another. They didn't know her history. They didn't know the missions she had survived. All they saw was a quiet sniper, a shadow among the boisterous crowd. The instructors called the group over for a marksmanship drill. The recruits hustled forward, eager to prove themselves. The quiet sniper followed at her own measured pace. When her turn came, she moved with deliberate precision, each motion calculated, deliberate. Her rifle settled effortlessly on her shoulder, her scope aligned perfectly, and she exhaled softly before squeezing the trigger. The first shot rang out, dead center. The second, dead center again. The third shot, no one even flinched, but when the target splintered exactly where she aimed, jaws dropped. Murmurs started. Did she just hit that from there? The louder recruits scoffed, masking their surprise. "Beginner's luck," one said, trying to cover his embarrassment. But she didn't respond. She simply reloaded and whispered again, almost to herself, "Let me teach you." The instructor, a grizzled veteran who had seen countless soldiers, frowned. "Quiet type, huh? Watch her closely," he muttered. And then came the moment that would change everything. She lined up her next series of shots, not just the easy targets, but the hardest, the impossible ones. Her aim was flawless. The targets fell one by one, almost before anyone could register the difficulty. The loud recruits stared, mouths agape, realizing this wasn't luck. This was skill, precision honed through years of practice, calmness under pressure that none of them had seen before. Someone finally asked, hushed and curious, "What's her code name?" For a moment, she just smiled faintly, almost mischievously, as if the joke was still on them. The instructors exchanged knowing glances. This wasn't just a recruit. She was a legend hiding in plain sight. And when the SEALs found out her real code name, the battlefield would never be the same. The quiet sniper lowered her rifle, eyes scanning the yard. She had made her point without saying a word, and in that silence, respect had been earned. The drill had ended, but the murmurs didn't. The quiet sniper became the center of attention, not by choice, but by the sheer force of her skill. The instructors decided to test her in a live scenario, something designed to push even the most experienced recruits to their limits. A small mock village had been set up on the training ground, complete with rooftops, alleyways, and hidden enemy positions. The task was simple in theory: neutralize all threats without being seen. The other recruits laughed nervously, glancing at her. "She's just a girl," one said under his breath. "There's no way she can cover the field like that." She simply nodded, shouldered her rifle, and moved toward the elevated position she had already scoped out. Calm, methodical, silent. The SEAL instructors watched, intrigued. This wasn't their first time seeing exceptional shooters, but there was something different about her. Every movement, every adjustment of her scope, every breath was deliberate. She was invisible, yet commanding. The first target appeared, a mannequin placed on a rooftop. She fired. Bullseye. Then came the next. An instructor moved a target to simulate a patrol. She anticipated its path, predicted the angles, and fired again. Dead center. The recruits' laughter had died. They exchanged uneasy glances, whispering, "How is she doing that?" Then the SEAL instructors began to push her harder. They introduced multiple moving targets, timed challenges, and blind spots. Most would crumble under pressure, but she didn't waver. Each shot was precise, calculated, almost impossibly perfect. From the ground, a recruit shouted, frustrated and incredulous, "She's hitting them from impossible angles!" The instructors nodded silently. They had heard rumors about her, yes, but seeing her in action made it undeniable. She wasn't just skilled, she was extraordinary. Finally, one of the instructors approached, a knowing smirk on his face. "You've got a code name, don't you?" he asked casually. She didn't answer at first. She simply adjusted her scope, scanned the field, and whispered, almost teasingly, "Some call me Phantom." The word hung in the air like a revelation. The recruits froze, eyes wide. Even the instructors exchanged glances, realizing the weight behind the name. She wasn't just any sniper. She was a legend hiding in plain sight, and the battlefield would never forget her code name. The quiet sniper lowered her rifle, eyes scanning the yard. She had made her point without saying a word, and in that silence, respect had been earned. The simulated mission began at first light. The mock village sprawled across the training ground, rooftops casting long shadows over narrow alleyways. The recruits were nervous, their adrenaline high. But the quiet sniper, Phantom, moved as if she owned the ground beneath her boots. The instructors briefed the team. Neutralize all threats. Time limit, 15 minutes. Any misstep, and the mission fails. The recruits exchanged uneasy glances. Many doubted her. Some even laughed nervously, whispering, "She can't cover all of that by herself." Phantom didn't answer. She found a vantage point, prone and silent, her rifle aimed, her scope calibrated, her breathing steady. From there she observed every angle, predicting enemy movements, tracking patrol paths with uncanny precision. The first wave of hostiles moved through the alleys, fast, aggressive, and unpredictable. Phantom's finger tightened on the trigger. One shot, and a target dropped. Another, and the second fell before reaching cover. Every shot was deliberate, surgical, and invisible to the untrained eye. The recruits below realized they were witnessing something extraordinary. Her calculations, her timing, her anticipation of enemy movements. It was as if she could see the future. The impossible distances, tricky angles, and moving targets were no match for her skill. Then came a challenge even more complex. A moving VIP target escorted by multiple guards. Most snipers would hesitate, most would miss. Phantom adjusted for wind, distance, and movement, squeezing off a perfect round that took the lead target down silently. The remaining guards panicked, scattering into traps Phantom had already predicted. The instructors nodded in approval. Even seasoned SEALs watching the exercise were stunned. They had trained countless snipers, but Phantom's efficiency, patience, and precision went far beyond ordinary skill. A recruit finally whispered, awestruck, "Her code name, Phantom. It fits. She's like a ghost." Phantom didn't answer. She simply reloaded, scanned the field, and prepared for the final wave. Another round of moving targets emerged from rooftops and windows, faster and more aggressive than before. But she remained calm, calculating, untouchable. One by one, the targets fell, their movements anticipated, their escape routes cut off before they even knew what was happening. By the end of the exercise, the entire training ground was silent. The impossible had been achieved. Phantom stood, lowering her rifle, calm as ever. The lesson was clear. Skill, patience, and focus can turn the impossible into reality. Even the loudest skeptics now understood. They had underestimated a legend, and her codename, Phantom, was no longer just a name. It was a promise of precision, stealth, and unmatched mastery. The final scenario was the ultimate test. The instructors had combined every challenge into one mission: multiple moving targets, timed obstacles, and surprise enemy reinforcements scattered throughout the mock village. Even seasoned SEALs had called it nearly impossible. Phantom moved silently, scanning the field with unshakable focus. Every breath, every twitch of her eye, every adjustment of her scope was precise. She was calm, composed, and invisible, yet entirely in control of the battlefield. Targets appeared, some hidden, some moving unpredictably. She fired 1, 2, 3 shots in rapid succession, each hitting exactly where she intended.
Panic spread among the simulated enemy as they realized they were being outmatched by someone they couldn't even see. The recruits below watched in awe. "She's unstoppable," one whispered. "She's everywhere at once." Then came the final challenge, a simulated extraction of a VIP under heavy fire. Most teams would panic. Most snipers would struggle to cover the chaotic scenario. Phantom didn't flinch. She moved between positions, covering every angle, coordinating the team's advance with silent precision, neutralizing threats before they could even act. The SEAL instructors finally allowed themselves a slow nod of respect. They had heard rumors of Phantom, but this was beyond anything they had imagined. Her codename wasn't just a title, it was a reputation earned through unmatched skill, courage, and calm under pressure. As the mission concluded flawlessly, silence fell over the training ground. No one spoke immediately. The impossible had been done, and the quiet sniper, once laughed at and underestimated, had proven herself beyond question. The instructors approached, clapping subtly, while the recruits looked on, wide-eyed and humbled. One senior SEAL finally said aloud, "Phantom, that name carries weight for a reason. You've just shown all of us what it truly means." Phantom lowered her rifle, giving only a faint nod. She didn't need applause or recognition. Her actions had already spoken louder than any words ever could. Respect, awe, and admiration now followed her every move. From that day forward, the legend of the quiet sniper spread. Not for her words, not for her rank, but for her skill, her courage, and the calm mastery that turned the impossible into reality.